School District Board of Education regular meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Here.
Jason Clint.
Yeah.
Jake Smith.
Here.
Christina Lindsay.
Here.
Bruce Switzer.
Here.
Nick Vasquez.
Here.
Darlene Bailey.
Here. We have a quorum. Amend the agenda.
Move to adopt the agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. We have no public comment this evening. Next, we have the superintendent's report.
Well, thank you. First, I just want to welcome our new central office staff members. We've got Dr. Valerie Utek joining us today. We've got Doug Schwinn joining us. And Joel Lucan was here visiting with us earlier today. So super excited. They've already made such a great first impression and meeting with teams, and they spent a lot of personal time coming into the district, getting to know Kearney, and really have set the stage for a beautiful transition. So I want to thank them for their efforts. I also want to thank the board for starting with us today at 11 a.m. We've covered a lot of ground and during our work session. We toured our renovated spaces at Kearney Elementary, Hawthorne, and Dogwood. We also heard finance presentations from Linda Quinley from MSBA and Dr. Rumble Evans from Piper Sandler. Moving on, July 9th, Governor Kehoe signed Senate Bill 68. There are a variety of provisions included in this bill, largely centered around safety and security. One component that the board will visit about later this evening is regarding the cell phone ban. And this is just a reminder for families. In 2022, Kearney School District adopted a cell phone ban all the way through 9th grade. So when we think about the implementation of this for this upcoming school year, 10th graders have not experienced having cell phones in the classroom, so it's really our juniors and seniors that will be most impacted. And again, they're only 1 or 2 years away from having that same level of restriction in the junior high. So keep that in perspective. I know this will be a change for students and families, but I at least wanted to acknowledge that. I do believe that the intention is to create a distraction-free learning environment, which we definitely honor and respect, and we've seen the value at our middle school and junior highs, the benefit of that. I do want to note Senate Bill 63 was signed. That does give homeschooled, virtual, and family-paced education students the opportunity to participate in school athletics and activities. We've just received some guidelines from MSHA, and so probably more clarity to come about that shortly. Later this week, I'd like you to parents look for back-to-school registration information. Also, if you'd like to purchase a Kearney School District back-to-school shirt for $17 by Saturday, July 26th, one will be donated for a student who attends the 2025 Back-to-School Resource Fair. So again, that's a nice way to give back to your community if you're interested. A couple of student highlights. Senior Whitaker Stewart was recently named a National All-American in the 500 free and 200 free. This is his third time that he has earned this honor. Just an amazing athlete and student. I'd like to add that. Kearney High School students, Caleb Stevens, Casey Collins, Jane Martins, Lakin Staub, Carter Brock, Carter Smith, and state champion Bennett Freeman all qualified for the Future Business Leaders of America National Leadership Conference, and 4 of our students actually went and attended. So that's my report for this evening.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Miller. Next, we have the consent agenda.
Move the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Thank you.
Jason, did I miss you?
You did
No,
not raise his hand.
I didn't vote. I'm sorry. I meant to vote yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
All right. Next, we have information items. Bond project update.
So the board toured the facilities this morning at the 3 elementary schools, and for the benefit of those who may be watching at home, our additions at each of those buildings are closing in on completion. They're just making the final touches of flooring, paint, and you can see that in these slides that the additions will pretty much be done. The renovation work inside is a bit behind that. They started on it later, and they will be finishing that up in the next 2 to 2.5 weeks with carpet, paint, electrical, and then finally drop the ceilings. And then in the additions, we will be having the furniture folks start assembly and placing furniture as early as next Monday. So pictures, the first one's just the cabinetry and casework at the expansion in Hawthorne. Some of the collaborative spaces in the renovated area of Hawthorne. You can see that the 2-story addition at KE is nearly complete outside and almost nearly complete inside in the classrooms. Renovation work as well, just kind of the same phase. They needed some more time to finish those walls, floors, and ceilings. And then dogwood is in nearly the same place. So the renovation area's got another week or two to finish those things. And if you look at the library at Dogwood, exterior done, and the interior is ready for furniture on Monday. Any questions on those three? Just feel like I need to keep you updated. Haven't touched base in a while about the deferred maintenance items that they were not part of our 3 additions and renovations at those schools, but just want to report back kind of a verbal where we're at with some of those. Roofs, we have basically all flat roofs at the middle school and Dogwood are on the agenda to be replaced. Dogwood is completely done. Middle school is lagging behind. It's a full replacement of the middle school roof. It's parts of it are very complicated with the number of lines, wires, gas pipes, and so on that are on that roof. And there's the whole north and west side of that roof is a tear off of 2 layers, and they've had some complications with what they've found underneath, so it's taken a little bit of to get that part done. They are approaching the end of that run, and so then they should be able to make some better time and hopefully catch up. That's not to say that that's not going to drag into August with what they've found and how long it's taken. So we'll work with the roofing company to work around this teacher's arrival, and then if it's still going, the eventual start of school, whether that means they dodge our school day or just hit what, we'll work through that depending on where they're at. So Kearney Elementary, that was a section that leads from the front door to the new addition, and that just finished up yesterday with that work. And Hawthorne has a section that is, if you can picture the front doors and then go south, that section will be completed. They've been on the roof prepping the last couple days, and that work is supposed to start next Monday and go through that first week of August. So those would be our 4 roof projects. HVAC, we had 5 buildings that had HVAC units put on them. They are all set, and they are being hooked up and set up this week and next, and should be, if everything goes as planned, be up and online in the next 4 days. So HVAC is in place, just need to have the setup and hook up with our control systems. We've got expansion joint repairs and replacement at the junior high in Southview. Southview is completely done. Junior high is halfway done, so they've probably got 5 more days, and those are complete. Every expansion joint on the exterior of those buildings is taken out and being replaced. So nearly done with that. Epoxy flooring at Southview is started. It is the kitchen and restrooms are done. They've started on the hallways and cafeteria and entryway Monday, And so that job is expected to run into next week as well. Safety glass film is on all of our buildings other than the Kearney Elementary School. There was too much construction going on for their install team to be installing that with the amount of dust and debris that was going around outside of that school. So they're coming back in a week, and they have about 4 days of work there at Kearney Elementary, and they have a few places at some of the other schools that end up with some dust under the film that they'll get replaced as well. Playgrounds, we have all 4 elementary schools are getting playground additions, and they have started that work at all 4 schools, and they anticipate about a week of work at those. So by the end of next week, those should be in place. Middle school facade and soffit, that is on the north and the west side. That is going to be a delayed project. The recommended panels that we're going to replace the rock panels on the west and the north side, that was a delayed item in shipping and production. So what we have going is school will be in session, but we'll have Newkirk will work to have their installers do that after school hours. And as our roof gets done, that's the same work crew and company that's going to do the metal work that then ties into the wall. So as that roof finishes up, the metal work will get done, and then the panels will come in after the fact. Carpet, some carpet spaces that were in addition to what the elementary additions project called for. We put that on a deferred maintenance, so if one of those buildings was getting 2 kindergarten rooms carpeted and new carpet, we wanted to make sure all 4 of those kindergarten rooms that they had in the school got carpet. And as that expanded, we worked in the needed areas at those schools. So that is 95% complete. There's a few tile areas that are going to be done in August as that new tile comes in. Kitchen hood, there was a kitchen hood that we added after the bids were out for the additions and renovations at Hawthorne, and that has been installed and should be operational once they flip the power on. If you guys were in the kitchen today, and that was our last hood vent that didn't comply with all of the codes when it was inspected. So that's a nice addition after the fact. Has not started. The power has been run, and basketball goals in the gyms at the elementary schools. The adjustable switch style of basketball hoops that raises and lowers instead of having to crank up manually or not have it all. Those will be delivered first week of August, and it takes, they said it was a 4-day process, and so they should be done by the end of that first week. Exterior paint at Hawthorne and Southview. I don't know if you had noticed when we were at Hawthorne, the top layer of tan, it's the fascia that comes off the roof. A lot of that was buckled and bubbled up over the last several years. That has been replaced. They did some patchwork under there with the stucco as well. And then the green trim at Southview Elementary has been replaced and painted over with black to match the front addition from last year. Support service building. You probably saw some excavation work going around the foundation. We had some significant flooding every time it rained hard in the last several years. They dug down, discovered that there was a joint between 2 areas of foundation. It was about 3 inches wide, and then just the top foot had caulk or seal in it, and then the other 3 feet down to the bottom of the footing was just open in mud. And so they sealed that, sealed the rest of the foundation, and then regraded everything out of there to take the water out of there. So hopefully we can have a non-flooded support services going forward. And then the last one on here is we have 2 roof ladders that are going to be installed at the high school to allow our maintenance people to safely navigate the different layers of, or levels on the roof. And they are set to be delivered in early August, and they will be installed as they get on site. Just felt like I hadn't touched base with anybody on the deferred maintenance items. Did kind of the quick once-over on that. Any questions?
It's a lot to keep track of. Thanks for all your work on that.
You bet.
Getting the most out of it. Appreciate that.
Welcome.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Next, we have financials.
Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to be here tonight. I'm very excited about this new position. Hopefully, I have uploaded the reports that you're accustomed to seeing. I'm fairly new, so I don't know that I can answer all your questions, but if you do have any, I'll do my best. So, and I thought we had a great discussion earlier today as far as maybe ways to improve the reports to maybe make them a little simpler to read. So I'm getting very excited about trying to get some ideas put together, hopefully by January, to make things a little easier to follow, because I know there's a lot of numbers that can kind of get blurry at times. So, any questions?
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to action items. Adult lunch prices.
Move to approve the adult lunch prices for the 2025-2026 school year as presented.
Second?
All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Approval of the bus routes for next year.
Move to approve the bus routes for the 2025-2026 school year as presented.
Second?
All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Approval of agreement with Tria Health.
Move to approve the agreement with Tria Health LLC as presented.
Second?
So Tria Health, as I put in the board update, is another cost containment strategy for our health insurance program. It targets chronic conditions and acute conditions where there's multiple medications that a patient may be taking. A lot of times there's some redundancies in those medications or some that don't interact well. And so Tria will actually intervene and work with the doctors and the pharmacists to make sure that that formulary is the best for the patient. They guarantee a 1-to-1 ROI, meaning for every dollar we give them, they're going to save that in claims. So it's $30,000 expense for the district. So they're saying that they're going to save us $30,000 in our pharmacy formulary, or they'll reimburse us that money. So I think it's a win-win for the district. It'll save the plan money, but it's going to save a lot of our staff money that they're paying for prescriptions they maybe don't necessarily need. Also, it provides free of charge diabetic testing materials for our staff members or members that have diabetes. So that'll also be a benefit to our staff. Any questions about Tria Health?
A 1-to-1 ROI guarantee.
Guarantee.
Why wouldn't we spend $1 million with them then?
Well,
Only
it's
guaranteed 30.
great question. It's per employee per month. So that's the structure. So every month per employee, we pay $6 per employee. And so that's the flat charge. Yep.
All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Approval of revisions to the student handbooks related to personal communication devices.
Move to approve the revision of student handbooks F-265S for the 2025-2026 school year as presented.
Second?
So as Dr. Miller mentioned earlier in our superintendent's report, on July 9th, Senate Bill 68 was signed into law by Governor Kehoe, banning cell phones to being displayed during school hours in Missouri public schools. So as she said, we already have this practice pre-K-9 in our district, and it will only really affect our juniors and seniors, but have experiences at the junior high since 2021 or 2022. So the language is presented matches the language in Senate bill, so it reflects the exceptions and the criteria that the Senate bill requires. And there's also the previous policy 265S. And you can see there's a lot of similarities, but it's just more clear how this is outlined now. This will be in all of our pre-K through 12 handbooks. And the discipline guide, as you can see, the matrix there has changed a bit too. And so that's going to be mirrored the exact same consequence for cell phone use pre-K through 12 as well.
Dr. McMains, do you want to expand on, it's listed here, personal communication devices? It probably needs a little bit of clarity
Yeah.
for everybody on that.
So it's not just cell phones. So the definition in Senate Bill 68, electronic personal communication is used to initiate, receive, store, information, images, or data electronically. This can include, but not limited to, phones, personal tablets, smartwatches, personal laptops, to these devices as well. So it'll significantly limit student personal electronic devices use during the school day.
Yeah, so probably from a realistic perspective, the challenge will be earbuds. You know, determining whether what's on your wrist, is it really a smartwatch? You know, there's a lot of devices out there that look like a smartwatch that aren't a smartwatch. So I think there's some challenges that will come with this. But as far as cell phones, we have that precedent set with up to grade 9. So wanted to share that, but elaborate, it's more than just cell phones.
The students are allowed to use the earbuds for their Chromebook, is that right? So would they have earbuds for their Chromebook?
So generally, if they're using earbuds for their Chromebook, they're probably not using them for instructional purposes. But if you look in the exceptions, there are some times when students might have that for a 504 or an IEP. So those exceptions are allowed.
And so as the nitty-gritty details, I think that the concern is that a teacher becomes more of a traffic cop than actual teacher, you know, how to adequately manage that.
Right.
That can be difficult in reality in the classroom.
Consistency will be the key.
Consistency is that,
for each
yeah, and
building.
then,
Yep.
you know, I have children of my own, they can be pretty determined, right, you know, so having that stamina to sustain the entire year is, they're gonna need some support, for sure.
So do I understand the policy that so the kid allegedly could have the phone in their pocket or something like that? Okay. I don't love this policy. Now, we're reacting to what the state did and we're accepting, but many of you received a copy of The Anxious Generation, and if you've read it, you may remember the part. Yeah, exactly. You may remember the part about where we talked exactly about cell phones, and what it talked about was studies show that the child having the cell phone on them does not actually, it helps to an extent, but not the same way that it would if the cell phone were, the further away it gets from them, the better, right? So whether it's somewhere in the room to whether it's in their locker or whatever. So I understand it probably, I can already hear the parent emails coming in. I'm not saying it should go in the locker, but I do think that it would be better to get the teacher out of being the cop and having to worry about policing that situation. If we could look at a system where maybe they put their phones in the box when they come in, or maybe there are all sorts of things. There's pockets that are there individually. That way it's still in the classroom. So in the nightmare situation that every parent worries about, right, the phone is still accessible. But at the same time, it's not on them where you're tempted to check it. In fact, this meeting is a good example. Earlier today, moments ago, football practice got canceled and I missed a vote. And so we're all kind of slaves to our phone when they're on us. And so I'm not going to demand changes to this policy. I couldn't even if I wanted to. But from a governance perspective, what I would love is, can we agree that we'll take a look at it, and next year as we come back, maybe tell me what the pros and cons of that. Maybe there's some cons that I'm not aware of.
Well, I think you're actually talking about procedure versus policy.
Okay.
Right? So procedurally, we already have cell phone caddies in our high school.
Okay.
Right? I think that's still some discussion for high school administration to work out with their staff on how to best implement that procedure.
So they can, so I think, let me rephrase what you're saying so that I'm following you. You're saying that there are caddies there that does happen in some,
In some classes.
but not all?
I would say that's probably
Which
accurate.
is again the
correct.
consistency piece,
I
right?
mean, I have I have one that turned in her cell phone every class,
Yep.
so.
And is that just due to you're allowing the building principal or the teacher to decide the policy?
Yeah, so when we developed our policy back, our stance on cell phone usage back in 2022, the reason why we allowed more flexibility at the high school level just due to gradual release of responsibility and empower the teacher to make the decisions on when it's appropriate to use in the class or not. So again, Dr. Gustafson really tried to support his teachers by putting those cell phone caddies in the classrooms. And some teachers felt it was helpful, some didn't. So now at this point, we've got Senate Bill 68. We'll just take the next step and we'll have more discussion at the high school level, what that looks like.
If teachers feel that it's helpful for their students to have cell phones, I can't, nor would I want to overrule them. I would disagree with them. But as long as I guess they have the ability to do that, I guess that's all I'm asking, is to make sure that if somebody wanted to have a caddy or a box or whatever, they have that opportunity. So if you're telling me that we have that covered and it's up to them, then I withdraw my objection.
I cannot guarantee it's in every classroom, but I am happy to reach out to Dr. Gustafson.
Is that also true in the junior high and the middle school as well?
I don't believe so, no, because I think it's
They're just not allowed.
Just
I mean,
not allowed.
They're not allowed to be outside their backpack or locker, I believe.
right. Now, whether or not, I mean, we don't have teachers policing whether it's on their person or not,
Right.
you know.
Okay. I had several more comments now. I won't get to get to them.
Oh, shucks.
Are we ready to vote? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Approval of bill payment.
Move to approve the bill payment to Darlene Bailey as presented.
Second?
All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? Thank you. Board member comments? Thank you very much for the tour today. That was wonderful. The opportunity to see how much progress has been made, and it looks like there's a lot left to do, but it'll all come together, right, Eric? It was great to see all the progress and
Exciting.
see it all come together. Important dates. August 6th, chamber luncheon. August 7th and 8th, new teacher orientation, resource fair. August 11th, teacher's first day back. August 14th, open house. August 19th, first day of school. And our next board meeting will be the second day of school. Miscellaneous?
Action for closed session to immediately precede the regular meeting in August, including any record or vote to discuss items and issues allowable under Section 610-021 of the Missouri Sunshine Law.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Matt Baker,
Yes.
Jason Clint,
Aye.
Jake Klingensmith,
Yes.
Christina Lindsay,
Yes.
Bree Switzer,
Yes.
Nick Vaskus,
Yes.
Darlene Bailey.
Yes. We're adjourned.